Kilo 8 Echo Papa Sierra.
Hey, Roger, Echo Papa Sierra, and you say you're in Ohio, is that Roger?
Roger, I'm on the southeast corner of Columbus, Ohio, so pretty much in the center.
Roger that, and what's the name there?
The name here is Eric. You helped me set up my Kenwood TS-890 about a year ago, and I've been running that EQ setup ever since. It's worked very well, but I just wanted to compare what you and I set up with what I discovered on the Heil ham radio site for the setup for my microphone and this radio. So I think they were trying to make it a warmer sound, but I just wanted to get your input on it. I can switch between the two.
Okay, first thing, what radio is that you're running?
It's a Kenwood TS-890.
Is that an older radio or newer radio?
Well, it's newer. I mean, they're still selling them, so it's probably the only one that Kenwood is selling on the high end right now. I don't think they're making their TS-990 anymore.
Roger that. So why don't you give me about 10 or 15 seconds and let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
All right. It's TS-890. I've got two different EQ setups, the one you did and the one I want you to listen to that came from Heil. I'm using the Heil PR40 microphone and running about 500 watts into a vertical antenna, and I don't really have anything special other than that, but that vertical is really low SWR, so I really am happy with it.
Roger, okay, I've got you on my PASDR. You seem to be about 15 or 20 over, so I have a really good signal. So you're going to switch between the one equalizer grouping and another equalizer grouping?
Equalizer grouping?
That's correct, Jim. Yeah, we are talking right now on the one equalizer setting that you and I worked up about a year ago, and I've been using it through contests and all kinds of DX, and everybody always gives me good reports on it, but I saw what Heil ham radio was recommending for the PR40 with this rig, and I thought, well, I'll load that into my EQ and I'll let you listen to it and see how you think it compares. So when you're ready, I will switch it over to the Heil PR40 recommendation.
Alrighty, anytime.
Okay, this is the setup that Heil recommended, which instead of coming down flat after about 1800, they actually had a little bit of gain just below that, and then they went flat after about, I think, 1200 or 1000 hertz. So this is the Heil recommended setup on the EQ for this Kenwood with a PR40.
Oh, that, and then go back to the other one?
All right, this is back to the setup that you and I did last year. Like I said, I've been using it this whole time, but I just wanted to get your input on what it sounded like compared to the Heil setup.
Roger, that setup has about 3 to 4 dB more bottom end around the bass EQ. Sounds a bit warmer, a bit fuller. The other EQ is pretty upper mids only with, now I usually, I'm all in for more more treble for articulation purposes. But in listening to that one, it just sounded pretty pushed in a lot of top end, more than what I would suggest. And the other one is obviously what our opinion was then and still is now. I prefer that one that you were last on, that had more bottom end, a little more bottom end, so it was a little more warmer, but it still had plenty of top too. So in my estimation, it would be good for a Qso microphone, or working on DX or numbers or whatever. Roger.
Working on DX or numbers or whatever. Roger.
It also Roger, Jim. Yeah, in looking at the EQ curve, it just looked like what Heil was attempting to do was put a little more warmth into like a rag chew setup, and then what you and I did always got really good reviews from the DX stations about my audio, and I always seemed to be able to punch through crowds. So it just looked like if I was going to be doing just local rag chew, that maybe the Heil recommendation would sound a little warmer, but if I'm going to try to work any DX, I want to stick with this one, which is the one you and I set up a year ago.
Roger there, Eric. There was somebody else, I think, out there that might have had an opinion. Someone else? Are you still out there?
That might have had an opinion. Someone else? Are you still out there?
Yeah, Roger, W3PKR, Bravo Kilo Romeo in South Carolina. I think the configuration that you two did
with what you're
sounds a lot better
right now. Does sound better than the other one.
We almost had a perfect double there. Gosh, and I don't know how to tell either one. But I think you were saying that you liked REQ better than Heil's. Is that a Roger?
REQ better than Heil's. Is that a Roger?
That is correct. I do like your setting better than Heil. It does sound a little bit fuller. No problem with copy at all in Michigan.
Roger. That's what I was thinking, about 4 dB more on the bottom side. I'm not a nut for, all this great bottom end, because the thing is, when you get your signal out bouncing through the world and off, in the ionosphere, and get divided at two different places of reflection, and then they come back and they start to phase cancel each other because they were bent back at two different times in space. And what happens is it affects the phase angle. And when it approaches 180 degrees, obviously you have cancellation. And this cancellation always starts, pretty much always starts at the top of the audio spectrum and works its way down into the mids and down into the bottom, but always starts at the top. So here you are, and you've spent a great deal of time and effort to get this humongous audio signal that's got a lot of bass and a lot of treble, and then boom, it goes up in the air, and then all of a sudden Mother Nature says, nope, and she dumps your top, and here you are left with a bunch of uncanceled lower frequencies, which then you become, Mr. Mumbles, Roger?
Which then you become, Mr. Mumbles, Roger?
What a BS.
Roger, Jim. Yep, I've been happy with it. I just wanted to try it to see if their attempt to make it sound warmer or give it a little more fullness was really worth it. It's not the public consensus, and I thank you, gentlemen. I didn't get your calls because I'm getting an awful lot of solar wind here, and
thank you to both of you
and was really sizzling. But thank you to both of you who were pitching in some information on this, and I am going to stick with the setup that Jim and I worked out last year, and I'm just going to pretty much leave that alone, and we're going to be very happy about it.
Roger, and if you want to hear it, that's the thing. If we've got it all on tape, and so you can hear the one and the other, and get your ear into it. If you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording on YouTube search. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,200, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow, Roger.
And I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Roger, Jim, once again, thank you so much. I had 2 wishes for today, and that's to get your opinion. And then I got the bonus plan when a couple of gentlemen all chimed in and confirmed what we thought. And then the other was I wanted to be able to hear myself on your vlog. So I'll tune into that tomorrow night and listen to it, and I can hear it for myself. All right, I'll turn this back over.
For what you do, and sometimes it's very frustrating for you, but you stay right in there and you get the job done. So this is Kilo 8 Echo Papa Sierra near Columbus, Ohio. Clear. 73, Jim.
Sierra near Columbus, Ohio. Clear. 73, Jim.
Roger, Eric. And for the last probably 15 seconds of your transmission, I swapped into my local antenna, which is a dipole on a 7300, and obviously the frequency response is a lot better on the 7300. I've got it with no filtering or no special effects. It's just as dry as you can be, but its frequency response is well into 100 to 29 or thereabouts, so it is more accurate than the SDRs, but I had a better copy technically on my Georgia antenna, on my PA SDR, less noise on that one, but I had to get down into my local one just to hear how that bottom end and all that went together. So when you listen to it, just think about, I've got a chevron on the right side of the screen that tells you where I am, and right now I'm on the PA SDR. Earlier I was on a thing called Hocus Pocus in my local antenna, and Hocus Pocus is an SDR up around Cincinnati, Ohio, and then obviously my local antenna is just a local 7300. And so you can tell by the frequency characteristics of all, but I would say the closest one to absolute correctness is the 7300 on the dipole. It's like I say, full range down to 100 cycles, and my monitor system goes down to 40 cycles because it has a subwoofer in it. So anyway, give a listen and see what you think. 73 there, Eric. You have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.